97.3. Come on. Let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let's succeed, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep you going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. Where we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the Traffic Avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, Traffic Avenue, oh yeah.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou, and tonight I'm here with
Eno Safo.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes, as the election year accusations and counter-accusations continue, we hear from the NDC, which says all ministers have been given a quota of 30 people to recruit NPP foot soldiers into the various security services. We'll be hearing that, plus reactions from the government. Also coming up on Eyewitness News.
We cannot imagine that state property will be sold to a minister of state. For us, it's not of state culture. And that should be stopped, and stopped immediately.
Organized labor kicks against the planned sale by SNIT of some 4 hotels to Minister for Agriculture's company, that's Honorable Brian Achampo's company, the Rock City Hotel. We'll be hearing more on that, plus the reactions that are coming up. And later on Eyewitness News, the Ministry of Works and Housing is dismissing claims that it is unable to account for $158 million, which were voted for the implementation of the Gary project. That also coming up here on Eyewitness News. Stay with us. We have more on all these stories and others on 97.3 Citi FM. We also have business news and the latest headline.
IEA proposes multi-phased approach to tackle depreciation of the city. We have more from the Institute's latest paper on stabilizing the local currency.
That's in 50 minutes from the City Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a host of affiliate stations, including in the Western region on Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky Power 93.5 FM. All of them are based in Takrady. In the Bono region, we are on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. We are also in the Hafo region on Hames 106.5 FM in Goso. In the Ashanti region, we are on Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region on Akpini Radio 96.7 FM in Pando and Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohwe. In the northern region, we are live on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In Upper East, we are on WED 88.3 FM in Zuarungo. Upper West, Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. And in the Northeast region, we are on Eagle 94.1 FM in Wale Wale. We are live on YouTube. The link is Citi Tube. We are also live on Facebook. Look for Citi FM. We are interactive on Twitter, now known as X, using the hashtag Citi Newsroom. My handle is at Umaru Sanda. You can also follow at Citi973 and send your messages there. If you want to go on WhatsApp, the number to send your message to is 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. Let's start with the big story coming from the security setup and the allegations that are flying around there. Enusafu has that story.
The minority in parliament is accusing the government of illegally recruiting NPP foot soldiers into the security services ahead of the 2024 general elections. The caucus alleges that all NPP parliamentary candidates have been offered 30 slots for recruitment into the various security services in a calculated attempt to compromise the December polls. Addressing the media, the minority leader, Dr. Kaisala Taforsim, says on any unlawful attacks by the NPP thugs in uniform would be resisted by the NDC supporters.
The NDC minority can authoritatively state that not long ago, the NPP government again has illegally and fraudulently given out 30 slots to all NPP parliamentary candidates across the country for the recruitment into the security services, namely Ghana Police Service, 2, the Immigration Service, 3, the Fire Service, 4, the Ghana Army, 5, the Ghana Navy, and 6, the Ghana Air Force. 30 slots to each parliamentary candidate of the NPP. The recruitment of the NPP foot soldiers into the security services, especially in this election year, is a calculated attempt to compromise the elections, given that the loyalty of the new recruits in the event that they are deployed will be to the ruling MPP and not to the state, as it is required for all security personnel. The murder of the 8 innocent Ghanaians during the 2020 presidential elections and parliamentary elections by the NPP party hooligans marks as security personnel is still fresh on our minds. These needless deaths as a result of the infiltration of our security services by such NPP thugs and hoodlums who were recruited into the security services. The blood of those whose lives were unlawfully and violently taken by the NPP thugs is in security uniforms will continue to be in the hands of this government. Ladies and gentlemen, it is unacceptable that the government continues to put cheap partisan considerations ahead of the overall peace, security, and stability of our country in the run-up to the 2024 elections. We wish to remind His Excellency the President, President Akufo-Addo, and the Vice President Alhaji Bawumia that they will not have their way this time round, regardless of whatever maneuverings that they will roll out in the 2024 elections. We will resist these shenanigans with all our might and all our strength. Our members, our supporters and sympathizers will not just defend themselves against unlawful attacks by the NPP thugs in uniform. We shall hold these NPP hoodlums personally responsible for their unlawful violation of the laws of Ghana and the legitimate rights of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, it is in the interest of the NPP foot soldiers to act lawfully or face the full consequences of their actions and the wrath of our supporters. Just as the minority protested vehemently against the politicization of our security services through illegal recruitment in 2019, we once again demand that recruitment into all the security services be halted forthwith to allow for advertisement to be made with the qualification criteria duly spelled out for all to see. By so doing, we would have created equal opportunity for all Ghanaians who would then be selected on the basis of merit and not cheap partisanship and nepotistic consideration. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that this practice must stop.
You heard the minority leader, Dr. Kaisala Taforsim.
The Honorable James Agalga is Member of Parliament for Bulsan North in the Upper East region. He's a ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament. He was a Deputy Minister for the Interior in the Mahama government. He's joining us on the line. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sander.
First of all, before we go into the details of what your leader has said, educate me on how a Ghanaian becomes a member of the armed forces, maybe that's outside your purview, you were at Interior. So let's look at the Ghana Police Service, the Fire Service, the Immigration Service. I don't know if ambulance falls under you. What is the criteria for going into these services based on you are a lawyer and also, of course, you've been a minister for that sector before?
Good. So, under the criteria, or if you like, the procedure is very clear. Normally, the security agencies, before they embark upon any recruitment exercise, and I'm speaking in general terms, you earlier indicated that I worked at the Interior Ministry. That is a fact, but the procedure applies to the armed forces too. So first and foremost, the particular security agency which intends to embark upon recruitment would need to seek financial clearance from the Ministry of Finance through the budget. So once financial clearance is granted, the agency then takes it upon itself to cause to be put out there an advert. And that the advert would normally contain the eligibility criteria for the recruitment. So when I talk about eligibility criteria, I am referring to the age, the height, the qualification, and so on and so forth. So the criteria would be spelled out in the advertisement to be put out there. Now, in addition to that, these days they use the electronic mode of recruitment. So a portal is usually opened, and you go to a bank, purchase a voucher, use the information contained in the voucher to apply online. Once you apply, when you apply online, the electronic recruitment platforms would give you an indication whether you qualify or not. Then you proceed to the next stage where documentation, you are examined physically. In addition, your documents are assessed. And when you meet the criteria, you progress to the next stage, which is the medical stage, where you are examined medically to see whether you are fit to undergo the training. So that is the criteria for recruitment. So, and this applies to all the security agencies of our country.
Okay. How foolproof is this criteria or this procedure?
You see, Sander, first of all, when advertisements are made, they are made to the entire world. I mean, once you are Ghanaian and you qualify, I mean, equal opportunity is created for Ghanaians who are qualified to apply. So it's very important. But what we are seeing now is that advertisements are not made. They recruit secretly. And that is where, I mean, the minority leaders spoke about fraud.
Are you sure the advertisement is not made? Have you got copies of the Daily Graphic from January to December, in which Daily Graphic you failed to find an advertisement from any of these agencies?
Sandra, we've done our checks. But this matter has resurfaced. Earlier on, when this same matter came to the fore, I mean, sometime in 2019, I recall I did a press conference and took on government. And the defense government put up at the time was very lame. All they said was that a backlog had been created. Some advert was made in 2018, and they were now trying to clear a backlog. So effectively, what they said was that an advert had been made sometime in 2018. So I will not be surprised if they come back and say to the hearing of Ghanaians that it is the backlog they are still trying to clear. 2018, today we're in 2024, 6 years down the line, they would come and tell you that they are clearing a backlog. But, Sandra, you know, when you first apply, all right, age is a factor. So after a year, 2 years, you cannot be talking about a backlog, right? Now, if you progress to the medical stage, after 2 years, 4 years, your medical condition would have changed. So this talk about backlog clearance is untenable. I mean, it's a joke. Talk to many, security experts, and they will tell you that it is not done anywhere. It is only in Ghana that you hear government put up such arguments that the advert was made way back and that they are now trying to clear backlogs. So I can tell you on authority that no advertisement whatsoever have been made.
Now,
so far as the current secret, and that is why it is secret recruitment anyway, it is being done, in the dark.
So this
we use our intelligence sources to discover that, they are collating names mainly from parliamentary candidates of the government. They've given now close to 30 slots to each parliamentary candidate. But, Sandra, you know that the Constitution does not allow us to politicize our security services. Because when you do that, the loyalty of the personnel when they come out of their training schools would be to a party, a political party, and not to the state. You know that is very dangerous for the peace and security of the state.
This advertisement you talked about, is it legally binding? Is it by law a dictation that there must be an advert before?
It is captured in their regulation, service instructions, right? So, if a particular security service adapts instructions for itself, right, it is binding.
Beyond the advertisement, which you really haven't shown to me that...
In any case, Sandra, does the Constitution in Article 17 not prohibit discrimination of all forms?
It does, but who has been discriminated against? I mean, you haven't proven that the people who are applying...
The overwhelming majority of Ghanaians who do not have equal opportunity to apply because advertisements have not been made are being discriminated against.
But you see,
so if you are not in MPP colors, first of all, you don't stand the chance of being recruited into the security services. That is where the discrimination comes to play.
But the problem is that you've made a claim and you've told us the procedure that people go through to apply, and there's nothing wrong for a group of people to show up and apply. And indeed, if someone decides to organize people and help them apply, to the extent that the application process is fair, there's nothing wrong with it. You have not proven that these people who are applying are one NPP members. Just a second, let me land. That one, they are NPP members, and that two, they were brought by an NPP parliamentary candidate. This is your claim of 30 slots per candidate. It's not standing on anything. Give us some solid ground to believe your claim.
All right. So, Sandra, if you listen carefully to the minority leader, he stated categorically that slots have been given to NPP parliamentary candidates. I want you as a journalist to invite the Minister for Interior for interrogation.
Based on an allegation you have made, which allegation has no basis, I should just...
want to substantiate the truth.
But why would you former minister, you don't come and make an allegation and expect us to go on a wild goose chase.
Sandra, can you allow me to answer your question?
Go ahead.
My duty is to respond to your question. Now, I am telling you on authority that parliamentary candidates of the New Patriotic Party across the length and breadth of this country have been asked to furnish the security services with names, persons who have not previously applied to join the services, so that they can be recruited. Now, from now till about the end of the month, I want you to observe whether new recruits would receive appointment letters for purposes of training at the various training schools or not. These are facts. We have chosen to act preemptively. In the past, when I put out in the public domain that they were recruiting secretly, they came out and rubbished my claim. Sooner than later, people saw crowds at the prison school at the Boston Institute queuing for body selection. And pictures came out and people saw for themselves. So when we choose to act preemptively, we expect the media, the fourth estate of the realm, to be inquisitive enough, get to the ground, do your own investigation to establish whether what we are saying is true or false.
But now the fourth estate wants you...
to elect to dismiss our claims because it is coming from us, it would be most unfortunate and regrettable.
It's not because it's coming from you, it's because prima facie you haven't really given us anything solid. You just want us to keep running on anything.
Sources,
yeah, but intelligence sources, you need for a minute, mister. You know. Hold on a second. You have been working in the intelligence.
I can tell you.
Can you give me, for instance? Hold on. Can you give me, for instance, the at least 15 people who are sponsored by the NPP parliamentary candidate for your constituency? That's something I can work with.
I should give you names of 15 people who have been sponsored
by your NPP parliamentary candidate in your constituency.
Our claim is that it is not from my constituency alone. It is across the left and right.
I know, so I'm making it easier for you. I want us to do Bulsan North.
You want evidence? Let me give you evidence.
Great, let's go.
Reference the budget statement, your last budget statement. You will find that in it, allocation has been made for recruitment. For this year, this fiscal year. So the allocation has been made, the appropriation has been done. So what we expected that what was supposed to follow next was an advert. But as we sit, you are a journalist. Have you seen an advert? Have you seen an advert?
I haven't taken the time to look through the newspapers of the last 365 days.
Exactly.
So I will not be able to answer you now. But I'm sure you did a research.
The budget is the starting point. In the budget statement, clearly, provision was made for recruitment for this year. And you know, it takes a minimum of 6 months to train a recruit. We are approaching June. So this is the time they must sort out names of prospective applicants. And I'm saying that there are no applicants because there is no advert in the system. Is that sufficient evidence, Sandra?
I do not think so. But if you could just indulge me, I want to hear from the government. So if you could kindly be on the line for me. I have the government spokesperson on national security on the line. His Paragraph Buachi Dankwa. He's joining me. You're welcome, sir. Hello, Paragraph.
Right, Sandra. Very good evening to you and to your listeners.
Good evening. Former Deputy Interior Minister is on the other line. He has just said to us, and indeed his leader, the Honorable Atufosin, has also made a claim earlier, that you are secretly recruiting and you've given slots of 30 each to your parliamentary candidates. And again, you have not advertised. You are making the armed forces, the police and other services a very partisan organization with what you are doing. Can you give us any information that would contradict this claim he's making?
I'm very surprised and disappointed to say that the former Deputy Minister for Interior is trying to politicize the security environment. He's been former Deputy Interior Minister. He knows very well that this is not what is done in any government of this Fourth Republic, that you would particularly want to recruit political people into the security services. The security services, from the military to the police to the immigration to customs to prisons and fire service, have been extremely professional and devoid of any partisan influence, and he knows that. I'm quite surprised that this is coming from him, who has served in government, who knows very well that persons that are recruited are persons that are recruited on the basis of integrity. Persons that are recruited are persons that are recruited on the basis of the fact that they have gone through the proper processes and they have passed all their medicals and they go to the training. There is not a single person that has gone to the training for military, for police, for immigration, for customs, for prisons, for fire service that you would say and point to this person and say this person is an NPP person, this person is an NDC person. And it's important to note that there was even a publication on online. I mean, just a simple look online will state that the Ghana Armed Forces recruitment forms for 2023-2024, the application portal was open December 2023. It's online. Just a cursory look at that. You can easily find that you need to go onto the portal.
Give me that detail again. The portal is what?
The portal, www.
Yes, go ahead.
Ghana Armed Forces.
Continue.
www.gasrecruitment.mil.gh. So www.gasrecruitment.mil.gh. www.gasrecruitment.mil.gh. Just a cursory look at that.
What I'm looking at is www.gafonline.mil.gh.
Add recruitment.
Okay.
www.gasrecruitment.mil.gh.
Okay. I'm opening that. While I do that, you can proceed.
And so for me, I think that it's a very important year. It's a very volatile environment because of the issues that have happened within the sub-region of West Africa and how we have been able to keep Ghana safe. The President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who is the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, has kept this country safe from 2017 to date. We have not recorded any external terrorist attacks as we have seen in the various sub-regional countries. And there is not a single person, there are no quotas that are given to political persons from parliament or any other person for persons to be recruited into the security environment. It is not anything that happens. You can ask the Chief of Defense Staff, you can ask the IGP, you can ask the Comptroller of Immigration, you can ask the Chief Fire Officer, you can ask the prisons. There is nothing of that nature. All these persons that are recruited are citizens of this country, devoid of any political influence.
I just opened your portal. There's a subheading GAF recruitment. It says receive updates on recruitment into the Ghana Armed Forces here. Down, we have a photograph of 2 army men, a navy ship, and then a chopper, an Air Force chopper. Then we have the coat of arms of the armed forces. Then we have a notice that says there is currently no enlistment or recruitment exercise ongoing. Check back later. This is what you wanted us to see?
This. If there are any advertisements at all, this is the platform you would go to.
So his point is that there have never been advertisements and that you keep claiming that you're doing backlog recruitment, but you are just secretly recruiting your party folks. So this actually sort of makes the point that proves the point that he's making.
No, Sandra, you recall that every single year when there are budgetary allocations for recruitment into the security agencies, there is a huge number of backlogs. And I mean, of what reason would it be to have new recruits when you have not been able to clear backlogs of people that have qualified over the years? I know persons that have qualified over the years that have not. It's just the same with the nurses. If people have graduated from nursing school and you are supposed to enroll those nurses into government agencies, you need to pick from the years that we have not been able to deploy. It's the same system. And so if we're looking at backlogs, his claim is failed because we're not looking at backlogs of political people. We're looking at backlogs of Ghanaian citizens. And I think that it's important that we call him off and state that the agenda within which he wants to propound into the Ghanaian history is something that should not be encouraged at all. Because we will not sit here in this country for political people to be recruited into the security environment. We are in this country to ensure that the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, ensures that every single person that is recruited into the security agencies is one, a Ghanaian, one, qualified of age, 2, of sound mind, 3, of credible knowledge, and 1 who has passed the security intelligence that has been recruited.
Okay.
And so if you come along and you state that these persons that have been recruited are of political active tax, is he trying to tell us that that is what NDC does when they are in power?
When was the last time there was any recruitment in any of the services here in Ghana?
You know, Sandra, like I stated again, there are backlogs that we are always making sure that we are clearing the backlogs.
So since President Akufo-Addo became president in 2017, has there been any recruitment that is not based on the backlog?
There's always recruitment.
Do you remember the last time?
Readily available. I'm aware that there are persons that are in training. Okay, so I'm aware.
Which means they are new recruits or they are backlog recruits?
Well, Sandra, I think that, you see, whether new recruits or backlog recruits, the substance of the issue is that we are ensuring that the security personnel are equipped effectively so that the ratio between citizens and security personnel matches equitably. I think that that's the real conversation.
Do you know the last time we advertised for people to apply to be recruited? Do you know?
Sandra, every now and then you see that people would queue at Elwak station. And they are going through the various processes, and so.
But that should be based on advertisement in the dailies. James Agaga is saying that they haven't seen that happen in a long time. So where are you making that, and that the advertisement is only happening in MPP strongholds, targeting MPP persons who have been told that they should come up for recruitment, 30 per parliamentary candidate, he says.
That is inaccurate. That's inaccurate at all. That's not appropriate. Every single recruitment that is done by the security services are all advertised. Every single one of them. If you find recruitment, it means that there is a backlog.
But you cannot tell me. You cannot tell me when the last advertisement was done.
Readily, I cannot.
Let me ask him if he's satisfied. Please stay on the line for me. And Honorable James Agaga, you've heard the government spokesperson on security there. He says that the recruitment happened because you do know that if the old people have not been recruited, there's no point bringing in new people. In fact, my attention has just been drawn to the 2023 publication on Graphic, which says all you need to know about the latest Ghana Military Academy enlistment. Then there's a daily Graphic publication of October 2023. It says 2023 enlistment into Ghana Military Academy entry requirements. Does this satisfy your request for publication?
Sandra, we have not faulted the military in terms of the applications and advertisement relative to the military academy. Aside the military academy advert, which other advert are you aware of? Now, if you listen carefully to the minority leader, he spoke extensively in respect of the agencies under the Ministry of Interior, the prisons, the immigration, the police service. And if you like, the NID, because the gentleman who spoke is supposed to be the spokesperson at the National Security Ministry. I'm challenging him to produce an advert for immigration, fire service, prisons, police service. The last time the agencies under the Ministry of Interior put out an advert for recruitment was in 2018. You see, he's not well informed. It was in 2018. And so since 2018, they have been clearing backlogs for 6 years running. And Sandra, you think this is acceptable? The point is that, you see, when you float the eligibility criteria for recruitment in a given year, and applicants apply, at the end of that recruitment exercise, it's finished. If you were not able to make it to, say, the police, fire service, prison, etc., it's finished. In subsequent years, people would have attained the recruitment age. What do you do with those ones if you don't put in a fresh advertisement for those who have just turned 18 and above and are qualified to also put in their application? So this is fundamental.
So for you, there should be no such thing as a backlog
There should be
in this
no
recruitment.
such thing as a backlog.
When you were minister, you can put hand on chest and say that there was no backlog recruitment.
I am saying on authority, and I challenge the spokesman who said I served in government as deputy minister and ought to know better, that he should go back into records and point out the year NDC did recruitment when we were in power without prior advertisement. We did that any time we're about to recruit. This mantra about backlog, is something that is new. We started hearing about the clearance of backlog when MPP took over power. And I'm saying that it started in 2018. That was the only time they advertised for the agencies under internal security. As for the armed forces, yes, the military academy advertised. We commend them for that effort. But all other security agencies are supposed to follow suit and do likewise. So let the spokesperson inform himself well next time before he takes me on these matters.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Honorable Agaga. James Agaga is a former Deputy Minister for the Interior. He's MP for Bulsa North. Let me finish with Paragraph Bachidankwa. Paragraph, this your story of backlog is becoming a problem, isn't it? So that if people apply this year to be in the police or in the immigration service and they do not go through, by next year, the key criterion for determining whether you are fit to go into the service or not, you may not have been eligible. If it has to do with your height, of course, maybe you can just increase in height. But what about age? What about your health and all these things? So when you keep relying on backlog for more than 5 years ago, are you not recruiting people who are not fit to be recruited based on current circumstances?
Sandra, I don't think so. I think that every time we look at a backlog issue of persons that could not make it up to the recruitment of the particular year, when you go back, you will need to do medicals again. People are aware that even normal citizens would want to do medicals for their own upkeep every single year, either in summer or either at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year. And so when we do consider any backlogs at all, we get back to the stage of medicals, because medicals is the final stage of passing. Even there are persons that when you go for the exercises, you even fail because you are not able to make it up. And so medicals and exercises are the final stages that you need to ensure that you go through. And so the fact that you haven't made it up for this year's recruitment, and if at all we want to look at a backlog, and we are looking at backlogs, you will still need to start the process from medicals. And the age, obviously, people who apply who are either younger than the age would have a space of time. But if you are above the age, or if your age passes, when we are looking at the backlog, if that's all we do, you will not be part of the persons that will be called for medicals, if it is.
But your continuous reliance on backlog, which he says is alien, appears to be a window for you to recruit the people that you wish, which is what the claim he's making. And your backlog story is becoming unbecoming, isn't it?
Well, Sandra, I think that the main thing is to look at how the security services are really numbered in terms of citizen ratio with the security services. And so if there is a need to recruit, the government of Ghana ensures that persons are recruited.
Yeah, but the point is that he says since 2018, you haven't done any fresh recruitment. You keep relying on a backlog, which is like a phantom.
Sandra, can I give you a website for you to look at?
Yes, please.
If you don't mind. Good. Police.gov.gh.
Police.gov.gh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Take a look at that website. You would realize very well that there are always conversations around recruitment in the various security environment. Our reliance as a government is not entirely on a backlog, as the honorable member of the minority side wants to put it. We ensure that every single Ghanaian always has an opportunity to be engaged within the security services. We ensure that every single Ghanaian has an opportunity to be engaged within the security services. And that's the main goal, that every single person who is engaged is patriotic enough, is able to defend the country, is able to ensure that peace prevails within the four corners of this country.
But when
That's
this backlog thing, he says is alien, and that it is only under your administration that we are seeing backlog. What do you say to that? That you are the ones who have introduced this thing. How come we've never had backlog in the past?
Sandra, we've always had nurses backlog. I mean, there are nurses that have not yet been enrolled into the institution of government hospitals. You are aware of that. We also have teachers backlog. Okay, and so it's important really that as the population grows in the number in which we have, about 2 extra million people have come to add the 32.2 million people that we have had, and so now we are crossing to about 34 million plus and going. It's important that you ensure that everybody has equitable access to the various opportunities that are available. And I mean, it's important. We cannot neglect the past as we look into the future. So there's an equal balance of those that are recruiting new, and then we even open the portal for even those that have applied in the past as well to apply. And often you see people, it's a coding system, you understand? Because the coding system is there. If we are looking at a 2024, 2025 calendar year of recruitment, if you make your application and you go through the processes, often you are able to go through faster because you have gone through the processes before.
Thank you
then it appears as though it's a backlog. But it isn't a backlog as people want to look at it.
Thank you for speaking to us. That's Paragraph Bachi Dankwa, his government spokesperson on national security. By the way, the website he says has opened, thepolice.gov.gh. It's not opening. I'm not sure. It's not an internet issue. I'm not sure what exactly it is. But we'll keep trying to see what we find there. Meanwhile, someone in the immigration service has sent me an information, and he says, ask him, junior officers who were given a mandatory study leave to study are still not gone for academy, and they are recruiting people ahead of them in immigration. What is their faith? Okay, I'm not sure he will be the right person to be able to answer that. This one from Audu, he says, ask him when did the backlog thing start. Nursing has nothing to do with age. That's a message that they are sent through. Other messages that are coming through. Please forget about the spokesperson. He's just defending what is indefensible. The nurses' situation cannot be compared to the security services. That's Nelson. Mike says the MPP man is telling lies. If you want truth about secret recruitment, please come to GRA and ask a group of workers called administrative assistants. They will tell you what they are suffering in GRA. Please just try and get to GRA and do secret investigation. You will be shocked. Roland Atumfoy from Medina says, as we speak, they are asking my brother to pay 1,500 cedis for medical checkup and entering into the fire service. Can you please help me find out if that's what they do? Joe from Nakwanduri says, as for secret recruitments into the security service, the least said about it, the better. We live with some of the people and we know how they get recruited. Some are as old as 36 or even more, getting recruited into the police, prisons, immigration, fire service, etc. Mausi Ayebi Esther in Volta region says the recruitment of MVP foot soldiers into the Ghana Police Service, Army, Navy, Air Force, or any other crucial services undermines the principles of impartiality, professionalism, and meritocracy essential for the effective function of these institutions. Gastiman in Brekum says, from the NDC point of view, it means anyone who will be recruited will be an MPP member. What sort of absurd allegation is this? Is that what they did during their regime? A minority leader must allege based on evidence, not hearsay. Daniel Akpaliok from Sandema says it is clear that recruitment under this government is based on party affiliation and nothing else. Under this government, forms are not even advertised, yet persons are being recruited continuously. Akapo Jr. from Ahafomim says the NDC is lamenting over the alleged appointment of NPP foot soldiers because they are out of power. They should remember they did same during their era and should not pretend to be holier than the Pope. First law of karma is at work against them. Al-Hassan Hamdan from Nyoini South says it's a lesson to we the NDC. Our next government will do the same. God save Ghana. And those are the messages that you've been sending through. 0549 986 996. That's a WhatsApp number. Send your messages and the world will hear what you think of the stories we are bringing you. This is Eyewitness News. We'll be back with more. Please stay.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
In a world where only the best survives, you need a fuel that can match your drive. A fuel with unparalleled protection for your engine, superior efficiency, and unrivaled performance. A fuel so unbeatable, when you get behind the wheel, you'll focus on what really matters. The journey ahead. That fuel is Shell V-Power, because no other fuel gives your engine better protection, better efficiency, and better performance. Be unbeatable. Drive unbeatable. Shell V-Power. Shell, go well. KB, yo.
Hey, KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrom, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
Choboy! Yeah. We have a new leader in town. Obiarenti. Amanfo. Me don't want to see baby. When him say my baby, maybe more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal Pack with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to cause and you can feel better energy.
Can't touch this.
Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. The big story we've been looking at tonight, the minority in Parliament, led by its leader, Honorable Ato Forson, supported by former Deputy Minister for the Interior, James Agaga, making an allegation that the government is doing secret recruitment of MPP foot soldiers into the security services. That will not be good for our election year. We've heard from James Agaga. We heard from Pagri Boachidankwa, who speaks for government on security issues. But to give us a better and proper picture, we've called up the Minister for the Interior to ask him what exactly his answers would be to this claim being made by the minority. Honorable Henry Korte, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Maru, and a very good evening to you, and a good evening to your cherished listeners and viewers, and also those who are following and listening to us on social media.
Great. Your colleagues in Parliament called a press conference today. They say that you have given 30 slots to all your parliamentary candidates, and I believe you would be one of them, for recruitment into the police, immigration, and all these key services, and that it is a party foot soldier recruitment exercise you are conducting. I know you just went to the ministry, but what is the state of affairs?
So thank you very much. First of all, it's rather unfortunate that members of parliament and, of course, a leader, a minority leader, and a former deputy minister of interior could actually spew this falsehood into the public. I say so because, Umaro, can we just do the calculation? Okay, so members of parliament currently are about 137, okay? If you multiply 30 by 137, how many people were approved by the clearance, okay? Because before you recruit, you have to have clearance for Minister of Finance. Off the top of my head, when you multiply 137 by 30, you're around 4,400. It cannot be possible. It is not, and it cannot be possible. I'm rather disappointed in this approach. Now, yes, we are recruiting, but it is not a secret recruitment. What we are saying, we haven't even started. The agencies are going to send out the eligibility criteria. I'm sure by this week they will do that. What we are saying, rather, is that, look, in the last couple of years, people have gone to buy forms, okay? And for some reason, they could not gain admission into the security intelligence agencies. So we thought it wise that, okay, we don't have to advertise anymore for people to continuously pay money, okay? Because you have a certain number of people that the clearance you have to recruit. So, for instance, if you are to recruit, say, 1,500 into the prison service, and then you have 20,000 or 40,000 people go to buy the forms, we think that it is not fair on the public. So what we are saying is that those who have bought their forms previously are the ones who will be eligible, for that matter, to be considered depending on, you know, you go through a process and then they gain admission into the security services. So the security agencies under the Ministry of Interior will issue a communique out and then spell out the eligibility criteria. But I want to say on authority, and I want to say again on authority, that giving 30 slots to parliamentary candidates or members of parliament is false. It is not true. It has never happened before. And I'm surprised that they want to go on this tangent.
Their reason for saying that, Minister, is that they say you have not advertised for new recruitments since they can remember, and that you always rely on this so-called backlog, which you keep using as an excuse for bringing your people in. When was the last time you published a recruitment application for people to go through? That's what they're saying.
Well, the issue is, Omaro, they are the same people who continue to say that government is ripping people off because you advertise and then people apply and they cannot be considered into it. So government thought it wise that, look, we have a backlog. Can we clear the backlog? Of course, the numbers that has been given us for clearance, it's not that much. When you have over 200,000 people over the last 3-4 years who have applied to be considered into the security intelligence agencies, and for some reason, either they are not shortlisted or something, it is only fair to clear the backlog. So if it will take 3 years, if it will take 4 years, with the greatest of respect, to ensure that we have been able to deal with the backlog, I think that they should rather give us credit for that.
3 years to 4 years, the persons would have been older than the age limit for entering into the service, no?
Fine, but most of them, when they applied, they were still 22, 23, 24. That's what I'm saying. Eligibility criteria here matters. You know what I mean? But, Umaru, how would you find it if today we'll go and advertise and say, okay, we are recruiting, and you have another 200,000-300,000 people, maybe more, will apply, and yes, you have 1,000 or 1,500 who will be shortlisted. What service are we doing to the good people of this country? I don't think that is fair. So I was rather hoping that the minority will rather applaud us for this approach.
Very well. Do we have a concrete figure on what the backlog for immigration is, the one for police? Do we have that readily available to share with our public?
I'll have to consult with the agencies to give you that, because we have to do a lot of mathematics on that, because you see, quite a number of people would have applied, quite a number of them would have gained admission or rather entry into the security services and passed out. So that is something that I have to go back to the drawing board and get those figures. But you know what I mean?
I get you.
But the agencies will be sending out a communique to indicate the eligibility criteria. And I know for sure that top on the eligibility criteria will be those who have applied and for some reason have not been shortlisted for previous times. So they know what they do. They go into the system, they do A, B, C, D, then you'll say qualified. Those are the things we are looking for. And for the records, we are not recruiting party people. The security intelligence agencies is there to serve the good people of this country. It is not there to do party work. So please.
Very well.
And my colleague, Atu Fortune and the Honorable Gaga are good friends of mine, but I think that this time they got it wrong. We are in an election year, and both of us passed the False Publication Act. And this is clearly inciting the people against government, and I think that it is not fair for a leader of parliament to do that. It's rather unfortunate.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you very much.
That's the Honorable Minister for the Interior, Honorable Henry Quartey. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. And what else do we have?
Organised labour is alleging state capture in the ongoing sale of SNIT shares in 4 hotels to a Greek minister, Brian Achampong. The group has therefore called on government to halt the process or risk a nationwide strike by workers. SNIT is in the final stages of offloading 60% of its shares in Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm Royal Beach Resort, Ridge Royal Hotel and Elmina Beach Resort to Rock City Hotel, owned by Brian Achampong. Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, Dr. Yauba, addressed a press conference today.
The process is going on. And in fact, they are even speeding it up. And we don't think that is right. We do not think that the regulations that guide the sale of state assets are followed. We do not think that the necessary due diligence was done. We cannot imagine that state properties will be sold to a minister of state. For us, it's not of state capture, and that should be stopped and stopped immediately. And if the minister for pensions, who is also minister for employment and labor relations, fail to stop SNIT, we workers of ground, we own the funds, we will stop that process.
Dr. Yauba is the Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress. The Ministry of Works and Housing has dismissed claims that it's unable to account for $158 million for the implementation of the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project, GARD. The Member of Parliament for Buim, Kofi Adams, accused the Ministry of only accounting for $42 million out of the $200 million loan procured for the project. However, in a statement released, the Ministry provided a breakdown of the allocated funds and denied reports of embezzling $65 million from the project fund used for COVID-19 related expenditures.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Wow! KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, cause hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokro, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
There are some classy celebrations that calls for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle, up to 50% more than the industry standard, and gives you stronger, long long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon-neutral properties. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
Are you a contractor, builder, or a proud homeowner with an eye for quality and security? Well, look no further than Yale. Yale is the trusted name in security for over 180 years. When it comes to securing your home or business, trust Yale. We make security simple, and we're right here in the heart of Accra, Ghana. Visit our stunning showroom on 11th Lane Street in Osu, Accra, and discover a world of premium Yale products, including door hardware, handles, and door locks that will elevate the security and style of your space. Whether you're building from scratch or renovating, Yale has the perfect solution for you. Our products are known for their durability, innovation, and most importantly, your peace of mind. Visit us today and experience the Yale difference. Your security, our priority. Yale, locking in your peace of mind.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan, make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Inusafa. Let's settle for the details. In a call to stem the tide of the depreciating city, economist and director of research at the Institute of Economic Affairs, Dr. John Kwachi, has outlined urgent measures in a multi-phased approach, from accelerating external debt restructuring to enforcing forex market regulations. The focus is on immediate actions to stabilize the currency and quell speculative pressures. Here are excerpts of the statement.
The immediate option we can think of is for government to engage with both the IMF and the external creditors to reach an early agreement on the external debt restructuring exercise. This will allow the IMF to release the third tranche under the ECF program. The second option is for the BOG to step up the enforcement of FX market regulations. The third option is for the BOG to use its Economic Intelligence Unit, working together with the security agencies to monitor the acts of illegal FX transfers through banks, forest bureaus, and other channels, as well as money laundering to reduce the demand for FX. On the short-term phase, he recommends that it will be best for the BOG to negotiate with the foreign companies to stagger the repatriation of their profits and dividends and other transfers to their parent companies and branches to ease the seasonal pressure on the FS market.
You heard excerpts of a statement by the Institute of Economic Affairs outlining measures government should adopt to check the volatility of the Ghana cedi. The Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry is expressing fears that the Cement Manufacturing Development Committee established under the Ghana Standards Authority may be corrupted if not adequately resourced. The committee has been obligated to ensure that cement manufacturers in Ghana operate with a requisite license or risk facing a jail term of not less than 12 months and not more than 2 years. In an interview with City Business News, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry, Emmanuel Cherry, highlighted the necessity for proper provision of resources to make the committee more independent.
The problem we have, human beings, especially in our part of the world, is we are easily compromised on grounds in terms of exchange of certain small amount of money. So the only thing that we pray the Ghana Standard Authority and then the Ministry of Trade and Industry should do is that the committee put in place should be resourced properly for them to be able to do their work diligently. If they are not resourced, it becomes difficult for them to move around. They need to be mobile. How do they get all those things? It comes down to the same provisions, either administrative provisions, vehicular provisions, and what have you, so that at least their work is being done and done well. Proper monitoring. Monitoring regimes must come into place. They must visit the factories and what have you properly. And then some of even the depots and what have you, they must be proactive. And all this can only be done if we have a proper budget line to support this.
Emmanuel Cherry is the CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry. Government's decision to grant tax waivers to 42 companies under the implementation of the One District, One Factory program has been met with opposition from the minority group in Parliament. The group says the tax waivers amounting to over $300 million will negatively affect the economic standing of Ghana, as some are fraught with irregularities. City Business News' Daniel Sakite highlights the impact of this decision on the economy.
The ongoing discussion has placed in sharp focus deliberations on benefits the country stands to derive from the numerous tax waivers requests should they be granted to companies under the One District, One Factory intervention. The 42 companies listed to benefit from the tax waivers when approved includes B5 Plus Limited, Ferro Fabric Limited, Everpure Holdings Limited, and Myro Forestry Ghana Limited. Others include CK Engineering and Construction Limited, Sunda Ghana Limited, Central Oil Refinery, Les Farm Industries Limited, Everpark Limited, amongst others. The tax waivers for most of these 42 companies essentially covers a request waiver of import duties, Get Fund Levy, import NHIL, import VAT and exit levy amounting to various sums in United States dollars on materials, plant, machinery and equipment or parts to be imported by the various companies under the One District, One Factory program. Member of the Finance Committee of Parliament and Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin has been making a case for the exemptions.
Mr. Speaker, he has been loud on this matter that I'm against tax exemptions. And anytime he talks about tax exemption, he creates the impression as if the government does not know what it's doing. When you give incentives, you are aiding production. I'm not an economist, but that is science economics.
The minority, through its leader, Dr. Kesar Atoforsi, however, believes government ought to reassess the tax waivers.
I am at a loss. A government that is struggling with the fiscal, a government that is struggling with revenue, is only interested in eroding the taxes with tax waivers. I'm at a loss. What at all do you want this tax exemption for? Mr. Speaker, unless there's something there that I don't understand, other than that, Mr. Speaker, I smell something fishy.
On the back of Ghana's recent economic downturn, the debate, however, has been on whether or not the country benefits from granting of these tax exemptions amounting to millions of dollars.
That was a news desk report on government's decision to grant tax waivers to 42 companies under the implementation of the One District, One Factory program. And that's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. The business news on Eyewitness News is brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan. Make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Inu Safo. Up next is Point Blank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You know your Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the whole family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
When you want to eat, just momo it.
Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Shane Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
News. My name is Umaru Sandamadu. Tonight on Point Blank, we're talking about political parties and how they operate outside Ghana. My guest is a chairman of one of the parties. The party has external branches, and at Congress you hear them being recognized. My guest tonight is the NDC chairman for the UK and Ireland branch, Conrad Zinenumba Dumba. Have I got that correct?
Absolutely spot on.
How are you, sir?
I'm well by His grace.
I thought you would be saying ine. We Ghana people, we think that if from London, no, you should be saying ine. You are not saying ine for me. Say ine. Let me be sure that you are from London.
Unfortunately, they say you can take the Ghanaian out of Ghana, but you can't take the Ghana out of the Ghanaian.
It is still in you.
You see.
Your favorite food, I'm sure, is TZ. Because you are from Upper West. Okay.
Yes.
Do you get that to eat in London?
Absolutely.
Or where are you based?
I'm based in a town called Buckingham. That's actually Baumia went to University of Buckingham, which is just right behind my house.
My colleague Richard Sky went there too to also become a lawyer.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. So that behind your house,
yes,
or your house is behind it?
Okay, depends on where you stand.
How is it cold? I don't like laboratory. It's too cold.
Well, fortunately, in the last 2 weeks before I came, it was a bit warm. When
2 weeks.
I say warm, it was about 17 degrees, and we are gloating over it.
Are you serious?
When you are stuck in 2 degrees, 17 is heaven, relative, isn't it?
Where in Ghana are you from?
So I'm from the Upper West, a village called Wa, just 5 kilometers, walkable kilometers out of Wa.
What's the name of the village?
Chere.
Yes. You are enjoying shea nut trees and hot wind in Wa. You decided to transport yourself to London. Now you see you are struggling under that chilled weather. You are happy that you've got 17 degrees for 2 weeks. Anyway, let's talk about the NDC. So how are your external branches organized, first of all, and not just your place, but generally, how does your party organize external branches? What are the relationship between the party in Accra and the party outside? Okay,
so generally, the party as a whole, the smallest unit of the party is a branch. And so in the UK, we tend to have each city having a branch. Some cities like London that are large enough can be split up. So we have 4 branches in London, we have 1 branch in Milton Keynes, 1 in Manchester. And the whole idea is get closer to the people. And these branches are then rolled up into what we call a chapter at the national level. So the UK has a chapter, the US has a chapter.
Oh, so you are chapter chairman, not branch chairman.
Correct.
Okay.
So each of the branches, so you'll have North London chairperson for the North London branch. You have a branch in Kent, in Leicester, in Manchester, Birmingham, and you roll it up to the national level as a chapter, which is recognized as the equivalent of a constituency here, though with no MP. And then we have a Directorate of International Relations at our HQ here, who are our immediate points of contact. So they are the point of entry for us in the UK into our national party. So Honorable Alex Egbefia is our Director of International Affairs, and then Honorable Dr. Kalahin is the Deputy. And so that is the structure that we work through into the national executive.
So, as you are chairman of the chapter,
Yeah.
which other executive do you have at the chapter level? So who do you work with?
So I work with a team of about 28 people, including myself.
All are executives?
All are executives.
Oh, okay.
We kind of mimic the level of the executive structure at the constituency level.
Okay.
So you have your chairperson and vice, secretary and vice, treasurer and vice, organizer and vice, youth organizer and women organizer with their various vice positions, communication officer and vice, and then you have a number of executive members that are to support, if you like, ministers with our portfolio.
I see.
To support on various projects.
If you were a chairman for, say, Subin constituency or Sisala East constituency, of course, you are the constituency chairman, you have executives, you work on how to win votes.
Yeah.
You go doing house to house or door to door, doing mini rallies, doing symposiums here and there, trying to sell the NDC.
Yeah.
You don't do that in the UK, do you?
Not quite. So
how do you run your politics externally?
Correct. So what we do, the end game is the same, all seeking victory. And the way we do it is to mobilize Ghanaians who believe that the social democratic cause is the best path to development. Of course, I'm sure you'd tell me PNC and the others are social democrats as well, but we tend to do it under the umbrella, if you like. I was going to say the umbrella of the umbrella, tautology. But we tend to mobilize ourselves.
The Congress.
Yes, under the Congress. And what we try to do is to give people who believe in the NDC a home, so that you don't have to cross oceans to continue to fellowship with the NDC here. So we take the party to the people in the various cities. In the main, we mobilize our members. Today, I had a team of about 31 of us who've come down, not just to register to vote, but to also support the registration exercise. So that's one of the things we do to mobilize for victory. So we mobilize the human resources to come down, to vote, to do the door-to-door, as you like, here, to support in programs about mobilizing people to vote during elections and to register during registration exercises. We also, of course, mobilize some financial resources that we can support. We mobilize talent that is available, and where possible, when we see where the investments that are not ripping off our country but would inure to the benefit of every single Ghanaian, we point it down this way. So in the main, whilst what we do is different, it's aimed at the same thing. We're aiming to secure victory for the party, not just for the joy of securing victory, but to change our country to the Ghana that we all want it to be.
If I were in the Bole constituency and I wake up in the morning to go and campaign, I know that everybody I'm campaigning to is a Ghanaian and is likely going to vote. But where your house is in Buckingham, it's possible that your neighbor to the left is from India, the other one is from Czechoslovakia, the other one is from Australia. How do you identify Ghanaians? You can't even do that by color, can you? So how do you know that this is where Ghanaians are? Let me go and knock on their doors and campaign to them. How does that work?
Truly speaking, in my cul-de-sac, I'm about the only black face there.
Wow.
Which is to my, I wouldn't say...
You're an island.
So I'm in an island, a bit of a lonely business. But the way we do it is we have a number of Ghanaian associations. We have various events. So in the main, we recruit, interestingly, at funerals.
Okay.
So I was...
Oh, you do big... Are funerals big there?
Funerals are mighty in there, just like it is here, rightfully or wrongly. But it becomes more of a social event. If you imagine you are in a community where there's just one or two of you. Some of the villages, if you happen to be working or living in the village there, you might probably be the only black person there. So the way you see others is going for people's social events, funerals, birthday parties, churches, and stuff like that. And so what we tend to do is, it's almost like if I have a program and I invite other Ghanaians, I have barbecues, I invite Ghanaians, they come in. When my team comes, we talk to people and we begin to find that we share something in common. Oh, we have an NDC here. They say, all right, let's join. So it's almost like recruitment via the social network event. When we go for, particularly, let's say, any of our members or their relations has a funeral, we go there, we make a donation and we announce ourselves. So people tend to come along and say, oh, we didn't know NDC was here, and then they join us. In the main, that's how we recruit our people.
Do you know how many Ghanaians are in the UK, for instance, so that I can start targeting them?
Approximately, and this is quite old data. The last I saw, I think probably almost 10 years ago, it was roughly about 200,000.
200,000
Ghanaians.
Do you know how many NDC persons or how many UK Ghanaians in UK are NDC members?
So
do you have a database you work with?
We do. As we speak now, we are well over 1,000 because of a number of good initiatives we took. One of them was to digitize our application form so that it's easier for people to find us and embed it in our website. We are redeveloping that website. But since we took over on the 7th of October, we've received over 547 applications from Ghanaians ranging from all walks of life who want to join the NDC. We have processed, and in fact, we have opened 5 new branches since January. It's literally been 1 month, 1 branch, not Uncle Baumia style. But
why are you throwing shade this hot evening? So you've been chairman for just 6 months?
Approximately, yes.
What was your campaign on? What did you tell the people you were going to do for them? Did you defeat the incumbent chairman, or he decided to retire, or he died, or he just didn't contest again? What was your campaign message?
So it was a field of 4, including my brother, the former chairperson. And I had the unfortunate task of drawing the short straw to serve the people of the NDC in the UK.
So you won, and then you told the people you were going to do what for them?
2 key things. One was expand the party and take the party to each city. So that was one thing I was very keen on, because the last thing I wanted is somebody in Oxford coming to London for meetings, or somebody in Kent taking 2 hours to get to meetings. So having new branches in every city that had a minimum of 20 Ghanaians there who wanted to fly the flag of the NDC there was quite dear to my heart. So that was one of the things I did. And of course, that meant that the recruitment drive was going to be happening. I talked about reaching people through social media, digitizing our paper form to a digital form, which we have done. And so on the back of that, you'd see I was just talking about the fact that we've inaugurated 1 Kent branch in January, Leicester in February, West London in March, April was Bristol, and May, a few weeks before I came over, we did one in Aldershot. When I go back 2 days after 1st of June, we're doing one in Stoke, and we have Northampton, we have Coventry. So we are literally expanding every major city in the UK where we have appetite. We go and we set the branch up. So we are taking the party to the people.
Why is the NDC, or why would the NDC be attractive to someone wearing coats going to do by day job in London? He's busy on the train. Charlie, he's hungry. All he has is some small, I don't know if they call it hot dog there too. Yeah. I only hear hot dog, but I don't know if what the favorite food over there is. But man is blowing, ice cold breath. He's busy. Why would he be attracted to NDC over there?
So for many people, and I would not seek to speak for all, some would always say I was born in it. Unfortunately, some of us were not born into it. We discovered it. Okay. And we discovered it for love of country. And you look around and you think, precisely as you said, I'm in the cold, but I'm sweating myself out to take care of my family back in Ghana. And I'm thinking, why do I have to be here? Why can't my country be the same? Why do I have to go to London to be able to sit on a train? And I can't get the same train from Accra to Sawam. It's the same piece of metal that is used to make that. And so we begin to think, look, what role can I play? And I'm sure my colleagues in the MPP in the UK will also feel the same. What role can I play to make sure I move my country to the space where I have a national railway network so that I can sit on a train, I can live in Kumasi and travel by a fast train 1 hour into Accra. I can wake up and catch my guinea fowls in Wa and take a train and bring it to Accra and sell. We need a national motorway like we have in the UK. I can sit 6 hours from where I live and I'm in Scotland. I mean, why do I have problems with education? Kind of education where people go to school half here, half there. We look back and we think, for many reasons, we work there, we see how it is done. It's not beyond us. Nkrumah has proven it. And so we then dedicate ourselves to various parties. In this case, I would say the NDC. For me, because we feel that that's the best vehicle for delivering developmental projects. Like Terminal 3, when I walk into Terminal 3, I feel I can hold my head high because it's similar to a mini Heathrow. I look back at the domestic one that I used to go in, and it looks like a chicken hen coop. It means we can do it. The ambitious projects that we experience there that we think can be done here. The model for delivering public, if you like, public infrastructure, like the Ameri model. We don't always have to go for loans. Why can't we think about the build, operate, transfer model? It's not everything that the government has to. Government has no business in business. If it's a road, yes, you can deliver it. And even with roads.
You're a member of the NDC. Yes. You shouldn't be talking like that. That government has no business in business. NDC is not NPP. So government has every business in business as far as the NDC is.
That is precisely why sometimes I feel the NDC is a social democratic tradition. And in the social democratic tradition, we use the market to deliver for the people. As Deng Xiaoping said, does it really matter what the cut is as long as it's delivered mice? So if I'm going to be delivering, let's say for argument's sake, and this is where President Mahama has one of the good ideas about rolling the private schools into the, if you like, the free education principle. What is is important is that if you have 100 children in the community, they have a school to go to. Whether half of them are in the private school that are going under the free education umbrella or half are in the public school, it's irrelevant. What's important? Deliver education. So if I have a private school and I'm happy to take the same subvention as the public schools and deliver for 50 of the children, it is better than having those 50 sitting at home for half the term. You do 3 years free SHS and you only had 1.5 years. And so social democracy is not communism. It's basically about being practical. Things that can be delivered best by the market. I mean, let's look at our telecommunication sector. Back in the days, you used to go and pay Ghana Telecom to get a simple pole. Because we liberalized it under the NDC, you can see today you have the Vodafones. I know it was sold out. You have the MTNs, right? Good. I was even going back to Kufuor's era when Ghana Telecom was sold.
Okay.
But you can see how it starts liberalized. We look at banking. There was a time when the only banks around were the government banks, GCB, ADB. You liberalize, you allow more banks to come in. There's more space to be able to provide more credit to business people. Unfortunately, if you look at some of the government entities, departments that are business in nature, it breeds corruption. And so when something can best be done by private sectors, I mean,
let private sector do it.
Let them do it. Look at PBC. Why is PBC on its knees when other produce buying companies are thriving, especially at the time when cocoa prices are at a record high?
John Kufuor told us in the 2000 election to look at our state of being and vote. Now, so someone can be in a village and decide that, listen, on election day, I'm going to look for my voter card. I will not go to the farm and go to vote. Someone decides I'm not going to go to the bank today. Yeah. Or I'm a trotro driver, but I'll park my car, go and vote before I go back to business. Because they are living here, they see what's happening to them. Why would someone who lives in the UK for, say, 20 years or 30 years be bothered about local politics here when they are not even living in Ghana? And why would they be even encouraged or motivated to buy a plane ticket, which is expensive, to come all the way down here to just thumbprint on a ballot paper?
The simple answer is to, in this context that we are in now, to save my country. The long answer is this. We may live afar, but we're even closer sometimes than some of our compatriots in here. Because afar though we may be, most of us take care of our families here. We have businesses that we run here. At the very least, we have a house we want to buy. And we want to take our time to build it the way we think it should be. If it's a mansion, we don't want to build it in one day. So I go to buy a bag of cement, and it's 100 cedis today. I come back to buy it the next day, inflation has gone up. It's now 120 cedis. So effectively, it's pinching my pocket. I remit to my family, let's say if I was remitting £1,000 a month, and then suddenly prices are going up, jumping around like a yo-yo. It means that I have to send more. So even though we are far away, we end up what? Feeling it. Now, if I'm in a community, in a village, where at least my immediate family are well off, they are okay. But we live in a society where the nuclear family is more or less prominent than the extended family. All my cousins, my nephews, my nieces, and even people I do not know, I run into them, they are going to difficulty. More and more of a hard-earned currency comes here. And so, I mean, the pound is now 18 cedis to the pound. A while ago, it wasn't that. Now, I might sit there and smile. That means that I get more bang for my buck. But what it also means here is that the money I sent, the value of it has come down. Because you can see the dynamics of inflation.
So you get people who bought the plane and come here to come and vote?
Just like me. I flew in last Wednesday.
Maybe you are an active member of the NDC, you are an executive, so of course that's expected of you. But an ordinary Ghanaian living in the UK, maybe doing hand-to-mouth job, or maybe got a good job they're doing, they will be convinced that let me come home and come and vote. It's just that. They won't even transfer or do a proxy or anything.
I mean, for a long time, proxy wasn't quite possible. It wasn't quite popular. So there were many I knew. In fact, some of those who actually I bumped into and ended up being in the NDC did that. There are many out in the diaspora, and the question you ask is really goes to the heart of it. Ask yourself, what is in this for me? I'm out there. I can get a good pension. There's housing. If I can't work for some reason, I'll get some benefit. I'll be fine. It has to take love of country to do that. And when love of country comes in, that ticket, I know people who would even go to the extent you have to use your credit card to purchase your ticket to get there just to make the difference you feel. And I think that when we get to that point where you have no skin in the game directly, but you really want to play that game for the good of your country, whether it's for national pride. I mean, we have colleagues, Africans, they make a joke out of us these days when they look at our current.
I want you to talk to the Electoral Commission about the decades-long failure to have people abroad vote, the representation of people amendment law.
Yeah.
How is that affecting you guys, and how desperately do you need that?
truth be told, most of us in the diaspora, and I speak for myself and many of my colleagues, if it will cost the country a good road to come and get me to vote in the UK, I would rather come here and get that good road be built here.
So don't prioritize voting for Ghanaians abroad.
The reason being, see, voting is an exercise in promoting democracy whose sole objective should be the development of the people, whether it's your physical or your human capital. And so when you put the cart before the horse and you're overly fixated on spending $1 billion to get a couple of us, less than 200,000 of course, in the UK to vote or in the US to vote, did we go or did we come? Spend that money better on the infrastructure that will allow us to have peace of mind. Even if I can't come home to vote, I'd rather sacrifice that vote and watch you use that to develop a factory here that produces materials that will do some import substitution to reduce the pressure on the city so that the little I send home gives more to my family and addresses.
So
my
voting
concerns.
abroad is not your priority?
It's not my priority.
Okay. Let me finally ask your priority. Your priority is to see John Mahama in the Jubilee House. He's been there before. In 30 seconds, why should Ghanaians go for him? And maybe Ghanaians living in the UK too.
One, because, you know, when I go to my mechanics and he does a good job of repairing my car, I'm not saying he's an angel. I'm more likely to go back there. And so we have all tasted, proverbially, as they say, we've seen water, we've tasted water and the akwet, as we call it in local parlance, and we know which one is which. President Mahama, in the 4 years he was around, did so much. Of course, there were challenges at the time, and we didn't see it. Rightfully or wrongly, this current MPP government has, as we always say in local parlance, opened our eyes. We believe he's the best bet to taking this country where it is. And some would say 4 years is not enough. But I say to them, 4 years was enough for the things he did. 4 years was enough for solving the power crisis. 4 years was enough for a trouble gas plant. 4 years was enough for UGMC, for Terminal 3, and so many others he did. And so we think that the time to learn will be cut if we put somebody who knows what they are doing there. And that's why we root for him.
Conrad Zinenuba Dumba, NDC UK Ireland Chapter Chairman or President. Thank you for joining us on Point Blank.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And my name is Umaru Sandamadu. I did this show with Eno Safo. Production tonight, Kobna Wilson, Beverly London, Sami Wiafe. Technical support from Daniel Squashi. New media support from Edwin Kwakofi. We return tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. It's a Monday. We do not have a footprint tonight because we have something for our family month for the month of May. Before I say I do, please tune in and listen to that program coming up next. Thank you. Good night.